Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy and it does not boast. It's not proud and it does not dishonor others. It is not self seeking and is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongdoing. Love does not delight in doing evil, but it rejoices in and with the truth. It always protects, it always trusts, it always hopes, it always perseveres. Love never fails. Love, it always wins. Good morning, collective, or wherever in the world you are. I am Kuan Yin, and this is love of the highest vibration. It's so funny. I've been very quiet lately. You know, when energy, one of the biggest ways that energy leaves your body is through your mouth when you're doing a lot of talking. Okay. One of the biggest ways energy leaves your body is through your mouth. So when you're fasting, and I had been instructed to go on like a 3-day fast and to not do any talking at all whatsoever. Mum's the word, keep my mouth completely shut. Now, I know that's not an easy thing to do if you have to go to a regular job every single day. But, they said that's because a lot of energy leaves your body from when you're doing this. And believe it or not, a lot of content creators, they, even though they might have a whole lot to say when they're online and social media, a lot of the times they're not doing a whole lot of talking when they're not on social media because they have to conserve their energy. Okay. The same way the most heat leaves your body through your head and through your feet. That's why we put the hat on the baby's head, like your grandmother used to tell you, and put socks on your feet when you're walking through the house because heat and energy leave your body through your mouth from running it, through your head, and through your feet. Okay? So from my fast, I got a download. And it literally, y'all know, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. When you get the downloads, the words, literally like somebody is reading them to you off of a typewriter. This just in, or like somebody's doing a Dropbox. But I got a download and it kept coming in and coming in so much so that I literally even grabbed a piece of paper and had to start writing. Okay. And if you're a spiritual person that does get downloads, you know what I'm talking about. You might have to write dreams down that you have sometime. And sometimes you get a download that's so long that you literally have to write some of it down because you don't want to forget some of it. You understand? So I don't know who this is for, and I feel like it's for both feminine and masculine energy, but somebody has to hear this, okay? I don't know if this person is still in your life or not, but this is what they gave me for somebody. So here goes, okay? First and foremost, do you understand why the beast, no, they told me to start off by saying this. A healed woman, a natural born woman with a womb, a healed woman that has completed her shadow work is the source of God's power on earth because she carries and she embodies the power of the source of God's power in her womb. And with it, she can create life, ideas, strength, power to do things spiritually and speak things into existence, or to marry a counterpart that takes action using her energy. Okay? Now, whoever you are that power source. Okay? Now, this is the reason since the dawn of time that it's always been women that were sacrificed in the village, fed to the dragon, fed to the gods and the spirits. Why did they only want sacrifices of the women in the village and not the men? Because the woman is the one, especially if she's a virgin, that means that her energy is not tainted, okay, and distorted with anything that's imbalanced and dirty, because she has not started having sex and connecting yet with anybody that would connect and mix their energy with hers. That's why they wanted virgins, for that sacral energy, that purity. Okay? All right. So The reason the beast was never meant to be spiritual on this planet and just be given a religion to follow is because the beast lacks structure and discipline and is exactly what it is, a beast. Somebody that can't rise above a certain level of consciousness, that only operates and thinks on the frequency of predator versus prey. Okay? It's a beast mentality. Okay? And they were given created religions to maintain order, because without religion, which was guidelines for running a society so it didn't become like Sodom and Gomorrah, where there's no order, no structure, no one is safe, and everyone's uncomfortable. To maintain order, the first form of government was religion. And it was meant for people that are too animal minded to govern themselves, people that do not have the mindset to ration themselves, people that don't know how to be in tune with nature, and they will kill baby animals excuse me, without allowing them to grow up so that the cycle of life can stay in balance and they can give birth to and create more animals to keep things in sync. Okay? So, the reason that the beast was never meant for spirituality but just to follow religion is because of their lack of discernment, okay, and their disconnection from real spirituality, which would cause them, with the right information in the wrong hands, to exploit and apply the American United States ideology of capitalism to things that are held sacred, and to try to find a way to market it. Okay? That's why you got people that think spirituality is a competition, that really don't even understand what real spirituality is. You got animals like Elon Musk that literally has one single drop of African DNA in him, enough to allow him to walk upright like a human and to form his mouth and use the little bit of intellect he has to speak a human language instead of grunting like a caveman. You understand? And it's because of that one tiny drop of African DNA in him that allows him to do that. With the wrong information in an animal like that's hands, of course, they're not going to respect the universe. They're not going to respect spirituality or spiritual systems or what the woman is. And they're going to try to find a way to capitalize on it, like it's something you sell at a market on a stand. Okay? And this has got animals like Elon Musk running around, chasing high priestesses around, trying to chip us. Okay? All right. So, what the message I'm being given right now is balance and order must be restored. Balance and order must be restored. All of the evil eyes of evil souls who were brought to your attention must be either deleted or redirected permanently. And you have to be placed into some kind of spiritual safe house and hidden going forward. That's what I'm hearing. Whoever I'm talking to, you are a high priestess and your power is very, very potent. And it cannot be trusted to the wrong man that is not spiritually evolved and spiritually ranked, that knows how to act with discipline, that has sexual discipline, that's an emperor energy, that not just has sexual discipline, but has balanced their ego and other aspects of their character, that's responsible enough to protect a high priestess, okay? So right now, what has to happen for you specifically, because of your power, and because so many eyes have been brought to you when you should have been kept a secret. No one is supposed to know what you look like. Nobody should know what you sound like. Nobody should know where you live. But yet you got helicopters, you got all kind of tracking devices, people trying to inject you with things in your skin. You got all kind of things going on around you because now that they've discovered you and they know your power and know who and what you are, they want to control you and they don't want to lose you. So that's why all the chaos and the insanity around your life, because these people don't want you to go into hiding. Why else would it be this level of surveillance? You should have been kept a family secret from the jump, okay? This is what I was told, okay? Somebody that was supposed to step into their spiritual ranking, because someone actually does have a spiritual ranking, but they were supposed to evolve. They were supposed to complete a cycle and a lesson and spiritually awaken. Everybody that has a spiritual ranking does not always instantly walk in their spiritual ranking. They've got to go through some trials and tribulations. You understand? To finish self-mastery. You understand? Like Joseph, okay? I'm sure Joseph in the Bible, he had a spiritual ranking, but it don't mean Joseph was perfect. He probably was a little snotty ass, know-it-all, and he probably was a little spoiled, and he probably didn't have to do the hard manual labor his brothers had to do. He might have had certain viewpoints and perceptions that might have been ignorant, that him being sold into slavery by his jealous brothers allowed him to experience certain pain that would have awakened him to have more empathy for other people in different walks of life. You understand? Before he could reach the level of self-mastery he needed to be balanced enough to become the king of Egypt, okay? It was something he had to go through, okay? So this person was supposed to go through that, but instead, what this person did, okay, this man was being tested, but he lost his spiritual ranking because he was irresponsible, because of a lack of sexual discipline and completely out of control, detached ego that left him in an orbit of one delusion after another concerning money and women that were only physically beautiful. That's it. He was supposed to provide you with security, protection by keeping you hidden. But instead, this man literally, when y'all came together, announced to secret societies and announced to the whole goddamn world that the sun was in your sacral, literally. That when he slept with you, it changed his story financially because your energy was so damn abundant. And he blabbed his mouth to anybody that would listen and went around with a bullhorn bragging to everybody. And because he was unhealed and emotionally codependent, he wanted to impress all these people. So he opened the doors to you spiritually, okay, when he should have been the only one that had access. And he brought all kinds of unhealed fake friends, jealous, sick, spiritually diseased women to feast on your energy. Like trying to force open a rose or a lotus when it's still in its budding stage to extract its essence while it hasn't reached its full potential yet. Have you ever seen a rose competition where some roses have not fully opened up all the way? What happens when you take a rose or a lotus and you peel the leaves down? And I'm sure no one with good sense would ever do anything, but a cruel child that might have issues and hurt animals might do something like this. But what happens when you become impatient with a flower, a rose, or a lotus, and you just, I want it open right now, and you start peeling the flower petals back? They don't remain stuck to the flower. They break and fall on the ground, and the whole flower is completely disconnected and destroyed. Because a flower needs the right amount of energy to open up, the right amount of water, the right amount of sun, okay? And the positive energy for it to develop in its own time. You understand? This person literally brought all these people, these spiritually diseased people, up to your spiritual buffet to eat, okay? to experience your energy. Drug addicts, zombies, goblins. It's like, and now because they all know where you live, they all have access to all of your information because they're part of secret societies. And what they wanted me to say is, see, with the secret society thing, there was a reason for secret societies a long time ago, okay? Because power, real spiritual power in the wrong hands can destroy the world and offset the balance of things, okay? And only certain people were allowed certain types of knowledge in the past, and high priestess were kept hidden back in the day, okay? I have to tell you, women are so valuable. Healed women are so, so valuable. Have you heard of that island off the coast of East India that no one has ever disturbed? I can't think of the name of it right now. But if you notice, or if you ever watch those geographic educational programs where people go and they want to study Bushmen from South America or Africa, or Bushmen living in any country, any continent on the world, way far out, one of those islands that haven't ever had outside human contact. And I can't think of the name of the island. If you've ever watched the men, when they're like, we want to see where you live so we can record it. I'm doing a documentary. And you hear the recorder saying, well, they told us that they normally do not allow access to their women. They normally do not allow us to see, or they don't allow anyone to come into the camps where the women are. They keep the women in a camp somewhere hidden. Why? Because the woman is the one that reproduces their seed, that makes them immortal. The woman is their strength and their power source, and they understand that. They literally understand the power of women's sexual energy. And I'm not just talking about pleasurable sex. They understand their women are sacred, okay? And they understand that's their power source for what they do spiritually. See, the man takes action, but he takes action using his battery, the woman, right? The woman is his spiritual battery. And she's the one that creates strong societies, because you can't have a baby without her, right? And that baby won't be nourished and strong without her. And her wisdom, the wisdom that a woman puts inside of a child. You heard Dr. Sadie, who taught him everything about every single plant in the forest. He never stepped foot in a damn school. And he built an empire in Honduras off of everything he learned from his dear sweet mama that taught him everything. The woman is sacred. You understand? And this is why when they go see those Bushman tribes on islands and continents, they're like, no, you can't have access to our woman and see where they live. It's like you could destroy our whole society if we take you to where our power source is. Okay? So secret societies understood that power in the wrong hands could offset the spiritual balance on the planet and be very destructive. Destructive to the balance, emotional balance of women. Have you ever seen a woman in chaos? Have you ever seen a chaotic woman that's been abused and distorted because of a lack of order? When a woman is being abused in a society or in a marriage or relationship, that whole house is thrown off because her emotional body is thrown off. And the whole foundation is thrown off when the woman is not at peace. You understand? So you're going to have whole societies with women losing their minds in chaos, and a whole bunch of chaos when there's no order and fairness and protection. Okay? Why do you think you're seeing what you're seeing right now? Because there's no protection. And it's not because they don't want love, protection, security, so that they can play their role. That's not why. It's because some people have cognitive dissonance and like to detach from accountability of the role they play. And they think All they need to do is provide the foundation and only show up in the logical sense. You have a roof over your head, you got some money to put food on the table, and that's all you need from me. They don't show up all the way around emotionally. You understand? And then don't take into consideration how the emotional state, how important the emotional state and the pH balance of your woman is. And her being at peace and rested and not being in a state of fear and agitation because you might do something that might rock her whole household. By acting like cognitive dissonance, by acting like I do what I'm supposed to do as a man, I provide, but completely ignoring the other stuff that you do because it's not stuff. The emotional imbalance is not something you can see with the naked eye because this is spiritual. You completely ignore. That's the real reason why your house is in chaos. That's the real reason your whole society is in chaos and she running out the door with the kids. You won't admit it. You won't admit, oh, she just wanted to be a single mama. You won't admit, no, you're not providing an emotionally safe and a physical safe environment from diseases, from infections from other women, from negative energy and demonic spirits that you pick up, transferring them and bringing them up in your house. That's the part that you ignore and don't acknowledge and just claim it's a chaotic woman. She want to be a 304. She had 3 babies and now she want to run the street. That's not true. She don't want to run the street, but she's not going to sit up there and work with you. And some of these women really have worked with these men to even pay bills in the home with them when they should be resting, only to be cheated on and to have mind games played on them and to push them into a state of chaos, complete, utter chaos emotionally, and they don't want to acknowledge it. They just say she wants to run off and be a 304. No one told her to leave her husband. Yes, you told her to leave because you told her she wasn't safe. It was a bad decision on your part, and you're a bad leader. You're a bad leader because you don't have the whole 360-degree perspective on your household on why it's not a safe environment for her to let her guard down and want to play her role, okay? So, long story short, we understand how important the woman is, okay? But there are specific high priestess energies that shouldn't be exposed to the world. No one should know who they are, where they are. And the reason is because there are evil eyes and evil souls that belong to both women and men that are spiritually diseased and they're sick and full of jealousy. And these women are very, very sensitive and they need to protect their own peace spiritually because of their sensitivity and because of the role and position that they play. For some of us high priestesses, no one should know what the hell we look like, except for your husband and your family and inner circle. I'm not talking about the average everyday woman. You understand? You might have to be in some kind of spiritual, literally protection program. Because once everyone knows who you are and what you're able to do, they're not going to want to lose track of you, okay? So back in the day, you had secret societies that were interested in maintaining spiritual balance. But today, the mindset of America and the United States, which is a capitalist mindset that has turned spirituality into a market, anybody that sucked dick real good, man or woman, can be a part of a secret society now. Basically. You don't got to have nothing real spiritual ranking, or you don't have to have no type of special calling, or your true desire is to maintain order and balance. Everybody's motivated by money and connected to things for the wrong reason. And that's why my download was to tell you all balance has to be restored. All of the high priestesses that were located by Elon Musk and others in these secret societies that are full of men and women that suck dick real good, and that's the only reason they connected to this, okay, with low IQs. These high priestesses need to all be released, and they need to be allowed to have their privacy again, and they need to go into hiding, so to speak. outside of their own inner circle, and if you have a husband. Okay? Trust me. My biggest fantasy, I'm going to tell you, my biggest fantasy is for nobody to know what the I look like. This is love of the highest vibration. And don't get me wrong, I was put into this through gang stalking, but I see and understand it wasn't a mistake. I was brought online to do cards. I only wanted to do it as a hobby. You know, I was shocked when I got my first check. Yeah, I know I hooked up the account, but I was like, because it came on the screen, and I was like, what's this for? I guess if I get something, I get it. And I don't care. I only wanted to do it for fun, as a hobby. But they were trying to kill me at every job I worked at and take my life. And one day, when I was chased home and someone was trying to run me off the highway, the spirit told me, don't leave your house again. Stay home and keep doing them cards. And by then, I already got my first check. They said, stay home and just keep doing the cards. And I was like, I can't do this. And I was so scared I wouldn't survive. I was so afraid I wouldn't survive. But I understand every single one of my steps are ordered. But it wasn't my desire to be forced to be online like this. My desire was, don't laugh at me, because if you laugh, I'm gonna delete you. And y'all know I'm only playing. My desire was to go live in a forest, not in a forest house, but a beautiful house that has no humidity from the forest, because I tried to live in a forest before. I had a nice house that it was in a place similar to a forest, Fayetteville, Georgia. It was a lot of trees, and it brought a whole bunch of humidity into my house. It was so much humidity in there, on top of the humidity in Georgia. And, you know, it just wasn't good. I had to get all kinds of stuff in my basement. I don't want to talk about it. But the point I'm making is my true desire was to literally have a house with a jacuzzi, maybe, and a swimming pool, and a couple of other things, you know, some chickens and animals and other stuff. And then to have a small farm in the middle of a forest where it was at least a 5-mile clearing, to eat before you could even see my house or know someone. Like, it would be trees and no one would even know it was a house way back there. That's what my desire was, for no one to know I even exist on this planet, so I could just live alone. I'd be satisfied if I never speak to another person on earth into my last day here, except for my daughter, my baby girl. That's cool with me. Relationship, no relationship, that's fine. I'm okay with solitude. I need it. You understand? Real high priestesses are not desiring to be up in everybody's face, because your energy is sensitive. And you have to keep regenerating and cleansing your energy. And people are addicted to your energy. And sometimes people can become fixated. My fantasy was to literally get to a point where I could find a way to disconnect my phone numbers, email, change everything over to something that no one would ever find and no one would ever hear from me again. Baby, when I tell you, people don't believe me when I tell you I'll be okay. Child, I got a Netflix subscription, popcorn. I had my cats, my plants. I do not care. You can call me the cat woman. I do not care. I was loving my life until my space got invaded the way it did. I was loving my life. And if I could just live somewhere where nobody would ever know where I was. But some of you all, no matter where you go now, because this masculine exposed you, and you're a real high priestess, and you have the source of God's power in your sacred womb. Now, these people never want to lose you. They're tracking you like nutcases. That cell phone you got, that injection that some of y'all took, I'm not going to go into it because they're going to cut me off. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Or trying to set you up to be injected so they can track you. They're like, oh, we're not going to lose you again. We are not going to lose you. So I know I'm long-winded, but I was given this download to say to somebody. Okay? So, like I said, the secret societies just have a whole bunch of spiritually diseased men and women that suck dick real good, that apply the ideology of capitalism in America to spirituality, and want to make, just like real estate and the corporation markets a quick turnaround. You understand me? A quick flip, like these businesses, when these corporations are purchased, and they run them in the billionaires run them in the ground. They run them in the ground because they don't plan on keeping them long. They run them in the ground so they could get as much maximum profit as they can, because they plan on getting rid of it real fast. That's how real estate and corporations have been running, and this is how they've been treating high priestess energy when you're supposed to maintain the balance in the planet. Okay? So this man was being tested, and he brought all these people to your doorstep, the government, everybody. Protect your daughters. Don't have your children in hospitals. Some of y'all don't even do the Social Security number thing with your children. Good. Especially if you have spiritual children. If you can hide them from the world, good for you, because it's getting rough out here, because they believe that you're their slave and they own you. Okay? So you've got all these sick people now that are tracking you day and night, because they're afraid if they lose you and you disappear, that they won't find you again. And because they've shown their hand and how demonic and how crazy and sick they are, if you can find a way to disappear and hide, you will never resurface again. And you know what? For whoever I'm talking to, I think you're right. I think whoever I'm talking to, if you could find a way to maintain your life and disappear off the radar of everybody that has come for you or even knows about you, good and bad, you would do that. And you would never resurface again. Baby, you a Kaiser Soze. Now, I know everybody not going to get that, because everybody not like QUAN. But Kaiser Soze is Kevin Spacey from The Usual Suspects. Y'all remember? And I know everybody ain't watched that. Everybody ain't watch it. But you're like a Kaiser Soze. And just like that, it was like he never existed. Because the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was to make you think he didn't exist. And I ain't calling you the devil, but I'm saying you would be okay to exist with no one knowing that you exist. Even if you do spiritual work, you would be okay. You need and crave this to be able to exist without anyone outside of a clean inner circle knowing you exist. Okay? All right. So there was a little more they wanted me to say. So you got vampires, zombies, and these are people that have access to government resources to track you, honey. Okay? These are people, this man now, and they've already lost an opportunity with you because of this man's unhealedness, brokenness, and missing his mark. He wanted to... he had a Jezebel energy that wanted to destiny swap with you. And because he didn't have a balanced ego, and she stroked his ego like, I've been stroking. That's what I've been doing. She stroked this man's ego to Buzz Lightyear, infinity, and beyond, and sexed him. And she was physically attractive only on the outside. And because this man lacked discernment and this man lacked spiritual discipline, and he didn't have a balanced ego, and he traded you for an illusion, a temporary illusion that this woman is crazy about him and wanted to GPS track him, because this beautiful, physically only woman was so obsessed with him because he's just a king. This woman is gay, and she wanted your energy so she could get rich. And find a way to get rid of him once she got her money, okay? But because he has an unchecked ego, he could not see that, okay? So, let me see. Was there anything else? It was one more thing they wanted me to say to somebody. Yeah, so this man was in an orbit of delusion because of money and unbalanced ego, unhealed childhood wounds, and they were delusional about a woman that would betray him the first chance she get or get access to whatever she was trying to get access to. Okay? So now My message to you is balance has to be completely restored. Was there anything else, Spirit? Okay, there was another reference they wanted me to use. This is what they know. Now, we all know human sacrifice was always about the virgins, and it was always about women. They always wanted to sacrifice girls because a woman in her womb is sacred. Okay? That energy is very sacred. Now, do y'all remember the series Lord of the Ring? Did you, and anybody that ever watched Lord of the Rings that has X-ray vision, I love all those movies, every last one of them, medieval, African stories. I like, and there's nothing that I don't watch or love to watch and take in. There's no one's history I don't like, because we all come from the same source. No matter what concentration of that source, all of us come from the same source. You understand? So I love to learn everybody's history, okay? But, and I'm not calling Lord of the Ring history, I know what it is. But there are messages behind those series. What they were talking about when he did like this with the ring, he who controls the ring, and do you remember he put his finger around the ring like this? Do you know what he was talking about with the ring? He was talking about a woman's vagina. And he was talking about women that are closer to those original 12 strands of DNA, okay, which would be the original humans, which would be those that would come from, certain regions of Africa. Now, race is a construct of man. All of us come from the same DNA, but we have different concentrations, and then some of us are mixed with other outside things, okay? We just talking about science, no ego or anything connected here, okay? But the ring was talking about whoever controls the vagina of the woman with the most original DNA, he rules the world. And you know why? Because her power, her spiritual power is the most potent. And if he can control and direct her energy, then he can set things on the spiritual realm for how they're going to go on the physical realm. Because as above, so below. So whoever has the power and the light to do the work on the spiritual realm, then they're going to control the physical realm. That's resources, that's wealth, everything. You understand? So it was a whole psyops, psychological thing that this patriarchy had going, where you have to, like a good car salesman, you have to convince the women that they have no value. And they're nothing, and they're beneath you, when you are the very source that they need to control and run the world. But you got to convince it, because if they know that power that they have, you're going to have to step up to the plate and provide standards to access it, especially the ones with the most power. And then the psyop job that was done on certain men to make them think their woman had the absolute least value on earth, so that they would brainwash them to look away from their woman. So the people that studied their history, that knew these women had the most power, could take these women and put them into gang stalking programs and put them into positions whereby they could control them financially and economically, so that they could have a never-ending supply of their divine energy, so that they could continue to stay on top. And a lot of these men later on, that the people that were running the world, because it's collapsing now, a lot of them would go to these same men that came up with this psyops, and they would ask them for power, like they were the leaders. Give us, I want power so I can have a big mega church and heal people. And he's telling you your woman is nothing, and he's taking the power from your woman and he's giving it to you. He's literally usurping the energy, the sacred energy from your woman that he told you was worth nothing, and he's giving it to you, and he's giving it to you in your behind, telling you have to have anal sex with him and do all these humiliation rituals and do all of this mess to get the energy. that you could get directly from your woman if you do things they did in ancient Kemet, which is to do the real work, the real shadow work on yourself, to balance your ego, to balance your sexual energy. This man gave you a shortcut. When the Roman Empire took over ancient Kemet, which is Egypt, and made it all patriarchal, what they did is they gave you a shortcut. Thank you, Dr. Phil Valentine. They gave you a shortcut in how to access this power by going in another man's behind and doing humiliation rituals. And this is why your women are running around in the street in chaos, because you didn't do the spiritual work and do it the long way, where your ego is broken down, but not through a humiliation ritual of being done in the butt, but your ego is broken down through cycles, through lessons you are learning, through discipline, through developing your feminine energy by balancing empathy, compassion, intuition, and empathy with your logical mind as a man, and being emotionally responsible because you care, because you have love and an open heart chakra. See, that was the long way. No, turn around and open your butt cheeks. I can give you this power that I'm stealing from your woman while I tell you your woman is nothing. I'm gonna give you the, come on. I'm gonna give you your own power from your own woman when all you gotta do is treat her with respect and love her and have enough love to care about her feelings, care about her physical health, care about her pH, care about keeping her satisfied in a peaceful environment so she can be your peace. You have to give her peace emotionally too, by loving her by being sexually disciplined and not selfish, only worried about your own needs. But that's too much. That was too much. I want to do it the shortcut. I want to take a shortcut. I want to get on my knees and bunk up. I want to get on my knees and bunk up to the Pope and the cardinals and open it, spread it wide. I'd rather open up my butt cheeks wide for a cardinal in the Pope and all of them up there. Yeah, I'd rather do that than to respect my woman. Here. Okay. So they wanted me to bring that out about Lord of the Rings. That was what they were talking about in Lord of the Rings. He who controls the woman with the most DNA, her vagina, he's talking about her energy, access to her sexual energy. He controls the world, because if he can get her energy, he can do all the work on the spiritual realm, because he's got your woman's power. Okay? Okay. Is there anything else y'all wanted me to say? Okay, I think I said what they wanted me to. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these cards now. Whoever you are, you've been trapped so aggressively. And I wrote some of this down because I'll forget. And I don't care. Y'all know how it be. You know, when you get in a download, sometimes it'll be so long. You're like, hold on, spirit, let me get a pen. This is coming fast. I wasn't expecting all this. You understand? The last point they wanted me to make was, whoever you are, you're like the golden child with Eddie Murphy. If you remember the golden child, in the golden child, they were afraid of the power of that child so much that they had to make sure that that child was surrounded by evil at all times. That means at all times, somebody had to be in the east, west, north, and south chanting. There had to be demonic spirits chanting around the golden child at all times to make sure their energy and auric field did not expand and that golden child was not able to reach its full spiritual potential. Okay? That's who you are. And anywhere you move and go, because of the carelessness of this masculine, anywhere that you move and go now, these people want to quickly, these entities are using through people, they quickly set up and gather themselves to make sure you're surrounded by evil at all times, and you got people chanting at all times around you, trying to, because they don't want you to get in your full energy and full power. That's it. Okay, so that was the download I was given. I know it's long-winded, but I didn't choose this, baby. Well, I guess I did, but this is what they've given me to say. And some of it I wrote down because this is what they want me to do this first. All right, so it is what it is. When I tell y'all, I never thought today I would be right here today doing this and doing it for a living. Never, never. I didn't want to do this. I don't want to do this for money. I wanted to do it at leisure, no pressure. When I felt like doing it, I promise you. But sometimes life and destiny has a way of causing beautiful disasters in your life to force your path. Everything, both good and bad, work together for your highest good. Holy Divine Spirit. Okay, wow. So I have the 9 of vases, the 9 of swords. Okay, someone could be in mental imprisonment about something. Somebody could be worried about something. The 9 vases is the sword suit. Okay, ooh, child. Okay, the 5 of lotuses. I'm hearing for somebody, this man might be have a heavy fire placement in his chart. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius for somebody. Okay, for somebody. Okay, the mudra of peace, the 5 of lotus. This is the wands. It has to do, the wands can talk about conflict, but this mudra is a sign that's recognized in cultures all over the world because it's supposed to dispel fear and let people know subconsciously you come in peace. You will see it used in a lot of Asian cultures. You see it a lot more, I think, in East Africa, Native America, and I'm sure a lot of cultures all over the world. But that hand going up like this is it's a Buddha mudra, okay? The 5 of wands. All right, what are the messages? Okay. Oh, something about greed here. Okay, in the Page of Pentacles. Okay. All right. So the Dakini, who's this? Of jewels. The Dakini of jewels is talking about, this has to do with the subconscious mind. The jewels represent the pentacles. Pentacles are the physical manifestation of things on the physical realm that are tangible that you need to survive in the physical world, okay? Now, but this has to do with the subconscious mind. There's something having to do with greed in the subconscious mind here. Now, the rooster, the 10 of jewels, it actually talks about greed, okay? The 10 of jewels, what it's talking about is somebody's subconscious mind was programmed for greed. Now, there are a couple of reasons that a person's subconscious mind would be programmed for greed. They said, read it. They want me to read it to you, so I'm going to read it. I'm going to explain something to you. Greed sometimes comes from poverty. If you grow up not having enough food, okay, or shelter, or you were always on eviction, being moved from home to home with your mother or father or your parents, or you really had to struggle and your needs financially were not being met, it can cause you to develop fear of not having enough food, fear of not eating, having a roof over your head, protection from the cold. And that fear can make you greedy because you're always thinking, let's just say, I'll give you a quick example. They want me to tell you something, okay? I'm gonna give you a quick example of how greed is something, a fear that is created in your subconscious mind for some people in childhood. When we were younger, we were very poor, okay? And we were hungry all the time. My mother had 6 kids. My mother got food stamps, okay? But we didn't have enough to eat. At one point, my mother even put out one of my older brothers because she said she couldn't afford to feed him and the rest of us and claimed he was giving her a hard time or something. Nonetheless, that's a lot of information. But because a lot of the time we were fighting, me and my siblings were fighting over food, we were worried that if you didn't get up early enough and we had some cornflakes and powdered milk on the table or anything to eat, potted meat, saltine crackers, anything to fill our belly, eggs, fried bologna, whatever. When you got a lot of siblings, you understand you're afraid that your older brothers are going to eat all the food before you get a chance to eat. So you get up and you try to get the food first and you're all fighting over food. You understand? So what happens is you take more than your share. If you get to the fridge first, if you wake up first, you take extra and you go hide it or put your name on food in the fridge. Or when you go to school, because you've been conditioned for survival, you put an extra milk or two in your pocket. You still in the lunch line. Yeah, somebody know what I'm talking about. You steal a little extra food. You walk around the lunch table or breakfast table during free breakfast or free lunch, and you ask, "Are you going to eat that?" After you didn't ate your food and stuffed your pockets with extra milk and extra stuff, you walking around asking everybody else, "Are you going to eat that?" If you're not going to eat that, give it to me, and you put it in your pocket to take home for later. Why are you doing all this? You're not hungry in that moment, are you? No, because you just ate. But you're afraid that you're going to be hungry later on. And your mind has been conditioned that you don't have enough because you don't have enough. So when we are programmed for greed out of fear of lack, we carry that as adults with us. And that opens us up to temptation to accept offers from people to do a little bit extra that might be something dishonest or that lacks integrity to get more than what we need because we're afraid one day we won't have enough. That's only one of the ways, but that's one of the ways that we can experience fear in our childhood that manifests and turns us greedy, and we don't understand why we're so greedy because it's the subconscious programming. They want me to read this for somebody. The rooster is in reverse. Here we find the rooster that we saw in the center of the wheel of life. It represents greed, one of the three positions that drives the wheel. This card represents going beyond the prosperity of the Nine of Pentacles or jewels by losing balance. Greed is the belief that one can benefit at the expense of others. This is a delusion. When we imbalance the world through our self-centered desires, everyone suffers. When one individual hoards money by improper activity or unfair deals, money does not circulate properly, and real prosperity suffers. In Ayurvedic medicine, the three poisons of the wheel of life are associated with the imbalances of the three doshas. Greed creates an imbalance of the air dosha, vata. Conversely, people who are predominantly vata are more prone to fall into this poisonous behavior. It may also manifest as worry and sleeplessness. When vata types, that's air, okay? No, this is pentacles, sorry. When vata, did I say air? It is the air dosha, yeah. When vata types are in balance, that poison is replaced by singing and laughter, okay? So somebody, because the Dakini of jewels is in the upright, somebody has reprogrammed their subconscious mind, and now someone might have a better perspective about being greedy, okay? Somebody might have a better perspective about being greedy. All right, let's jump into these cards. There's another set I need to pull very quickly. Where is it, Spirit? I know it's hiding in plain sight. Okay. All right, what are the messages? Empowerment. Dynamic. Coherence. Remembrance in the reverse. I pre-shuffled these cards, y'all. You agreed? Yeah, a lot of times it comes from childhood poverty because you learn at a young age every opportunity you get to grab extra of anything. Look at someone that grew up having more than enough of what they need. You see how they eat? They don't eat fast. Like that movie with Justin Timberlake, In Time, when he got to where the wealth class was, and she said, "You're not from around here. I can tell by the way you eat. You eat fast." You understand? You when you when you grow up having more than enough, and you never even had time to get hungry. You never even had an opportunity to feel any lack or need or want for anything. And that's nothing wrong with that. That's not a crime. That's a blessing. You might have good karma. Okay? It's nothing to be ashamed of. Shoot, I would love if I have to come back to come in a situation where I can still practice humility and gratitude, but not have to suffer. But I don't want to come up in a good situation where I don't know humility or gratitude. I want to do well and still have humility and gratitude, okay, and be well balanced. But people that never had to worry about not having enough food, or it was never a thought to them, if they go to a place, a buffet, or, they might take 2 bites of their food and just walk away from it. But a person that might have grown up in lack, they might go out to eat and be like, "Oh no, I'm gonna need a doggy bag. I paid for that food and I'm gonna eat every last bit of it. I'm gonna take it home for later. I'm gonna feed some of it to my kids. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Every dime I had to spend on this food, ain't nothing going to waste. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take the sauces with me. Ain't nobody gonna see if I put this in this container. This is a cute spoon too. Can this cup fit in my pocket?" You understand what? Oh, I don't care. I'm making the point, and that's not right. That's lacking in. Somebody laughing at me. That's stealing, and it's lacking integrity. That's stealing and lacking integrity. But when you're greedy, because you grew up in poverty, you understand, you do stuff like that. Someone that's never had to work for anything, they don't care. They've seen all kind of beautiful things. They have beautiful things in their home and at home. So they have no need to take or pick up anything or this, that, and the other. You understand? All right. What is the quantity oracle card for this week? Holy Divine Spirit. Y'all better stop laughing at me. That's not me today. Shut up. Y'all know we did little things back in the day. Shut up. Yup, thou shalt not steal. Yup, you absolutely right. And some of us back in the day did, including myself. Yup, sure did. All right, Holy Spirit. What is a QUAN oracle card? Beautifully human. All of us are beautifully human. Child. Y'all heifers. Y'all know, y'all was tempted at that beauty supply, you know. Because I see your asses in the news. Excuse me. Okay, so they're giving me 2 cards here. Mother of Mercy. Okay. Dispensations of mercy come when we are without recourse, ending a cycle of manipulation, unkindness, or unconsciousness. This spiritual assistance is offered to you now from a place of loving respect, kindness, and great spiritual power. Blessings to Kuan Yin, Mother of Mercy, who watches over us with attentive love and care for our spiritual progress. Oh yes, Kuan Yin, I know that's right. She posing for us today. Turquoise Lotus Mother. Turquoise. An old pattern is finally ending. You are to be lifted from your struggle, hallelujah, Freed from a weight of the past, you have learned all that you needed to learn. And now it is time for release, divine protection, and happiness of a healed heart and peaceful soul. Oh, I'm going in the forest. Oh, it's over now. That's confirmation. I'm going in the forest, child. I'm done. Going in the forest. As soon as I finish this reading, I'm going into the forest. Yep. All right, Holy Spirit, what is this? 9 of Vajras, 9 of Swords. Somebody might be in a mental, oh, someone's backstabbed and betrayed. Somebody might be going to jail. Okay. Oh, yeah, the 10 of Swords here. Okay. What is empowerment? Clarify empowerment. Somebody might be empowered right now because they learned some kind of lesson here. Somebody is thinking differently now about doing something dishonest, dynamic. What is this dynamic we're talking about here? The devil reversed. Somebody was unable to backstab and betray you. This could have to do with stealing your energy, okay? And you were their lesson to understand a certain type of dynamic here, okay? The dynamic might have to do with coherence. Coherence is the frequency of the heart being synchronized to the mind. So that means that coherence must occur in every single one of your thought patterns that align up with every one of your chakras. You understand? Because your chakras have different thought patterns. They carry different types of thought patterns. Different schools of thought are for each chakra, okay? And when, instead of just operating out of your logical mind, you balance your thoughts with empathy and compassion and love, that's when the heart frequency matches your mind and it causes all your chakras to get in alignment and to balance. And when you're in that type of balance, you start to attract what it is that you want and need. And you can get rid of fear. You can dispel fear of not having, but you have to be in the frequency of love. That means the way you think about things, you don't want to hurt another person. You don't want to cause an energetic or spiritual imbalance to another person. You believe in karma instead. You understand? You wouldn't want to do something to somebody else you wouldn't want them to do to you. You don't want to steal something. You don't want to steal money out of somebody's baby's mouth. And that could be energy harvesting from their sacral. They need that sacral energy to go to work or create whatever they create and sell in order to put food in their baby mouth. Yes, it's stealing. When you steal sacral energy from a divine woman, say single that's not married, because I think it's not easy to steal the sacral energy of a married woman. That's why God honors marriage. Okay. I think it's harder. I don't think you can steal the energy of a married woman. Okay. If her husband is protecting her spiritually, okay, and protecting her energy. But a single woman, they might try to do spell work and astral project to try to pull from her sacral or attach a cord to it. When you're married, the only cord connected is between you and your husband. You understand? The only cord that should be there is your husband's cord, and you're connected by that spiritual cord. And when you got one outlet in the wall, another one can't go there. So your energy is safe and secure. God honors marriage. Okay? Okay. And what is remembrance in reverse? Okay? Somebody's complete wish fulfillment. The Page of Pentacles is to rebuild something because they forgot their soul mission. And they couldn't recover financially because they tried to create an illusion. Okay. Because they couldn't see the truth about themselves and causing you an imbalance. So somebody got karma for an imbalance that they caused you that they couldn't recover from. Okay. Because they forgot. This is a person that might really have infinite light and love inside of them, but they might have gotten around the wrong people and forgot who they were. They might have gotten out of tune with their star player. This might be a person that of infinite light. Okay, so they're getting divorced from somebody or breaking up with somebody that had them trying to create an illusion for you to get your energy. So they might have been trying to get your energy for someone they were either in a relationship with, or someone in their family, or from their community, or whatever. Someone might want to provide you with clarity. Okay. So somebody might want to provide you with clarity about something. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. All right, let's jump in. I just saw the High Priestess. Holy Divine Spirit, what is the energy found in this read? Yeah, somebody is not effective in what they're still trying to do to you. See, the problem with you is once these people tasted your energy spiritually, even when this person was trying to get them away from you, they're still coming for you. They're like flies. They're like flies to boo. They don't want to leave you alone. And they're going to chase you anywhere you go in the world. They're going to start immediately. If you move to a new neighborhood, they have the resources to immediately start setting something up in your new neighborhood or community. This could be in the state you're in the community you're in another country. No matter where you go in the world, your energy is so potent that anywhere you try to flee to, these people have the resources to stay on your ass, which is why we have to be and use wisdom in our families when it comes to protecting our children now. Like celebrities that don't show their children's faces, you understand, because they don't want to make them a target. It's almost like that, if you got a spiritual child, you might want to protect them and never let anyone find out what they are until they learn all the lessons they need to learn about who they are and protecting their identity and protecting themselves, okay? I made the biggest mistake because no one taught me anything at all whatsoever. So when my spiritual gifts started coming online, I was just loud as all get out. And I was telling everybody, I'm seeing people, their face is flashing in front of me. And then a few minutes later, they come walking through the door. And when I call up a situation and say, I want to see this in meditation, then like a movie, it start coming before me. And I'm not bragging, but I'm excited because I don't know what's going on with me. With a big mouth, this is when I was younger. And I didn't tell my child father. I didn't told my sister, and them and other family members, they collaborated to kill me and try to auction off my goddamn spiritual gifts to somebody else, to sell my gifts. Your own damn family, can you imagine? So we definitely have to practice discernment, when it comes to gifted children. If you come from a bloodline like that, you got to start talking to them about it when they're younger. My situation, it was nothing I could do. Everything that happened in my life, it was supposed to happen exactly like it happened. Yeah, child. Fox, that one, you be sitting up there thinking your family members would be happy for you. But instead they go behind your back and, oh, my sister, oh yeah, you got them gifts and I don't? Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna plot with these people and I'm gonna bang you over the head and have you killed. And oh, you don't want to be with me no more after I threw your newborn on the floor? Oh, okay, well, me and your sister gonna get together with our demon asses and gang up on you. Child, I'm telling you. So somebody, their efforts against you are null and void. The Ace of Wands reversed, they're not getting the effect they're looking for. The King of Wands, what is someone could be a fire sign, okay? Aries, Leo, Sag, okay? I got the High Priest here. Okay. Something might have been a bad investment. You might have a hidden helper here. That might be a High Priest that is protecting you. Okay. Whoever you are, this is what I'm getting. There is a High Priest that's protecting you. He could be a water sign, okay? He's been watching this fire sign, and the Queen of Swords is boundaries. The problem is this High Priest energy is protecting you, and they've been watching what this fire sign has been trying to do to you, okay? Tell me what happened in the recent past. So you got somebody that's looking out for you. Okay? In the recent past, somebody might have reversed an ending with a false person. Okay? Tell me more about this situation. Okay? Okay, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay? So in the recent past, somebody might have, oh, my ring is coming. Somebody in the recent past, I don't know what the recent past is for you. It could be years or months. But whoever this person is, they reversed an ending with somebody that was a false person. Okay? Because they felt defeated. Because they were in too deep and they did not know how to move forward after they got bad karma for coming for you the wrong way. And they knew you were aware of what happened. And they were afraid that because you knew that they would have, that they had an opportunity to reconcile and just apologize, and move on from what they were doing to you. And instead they went the other way. They thought there was no hope at all whatsoever after that of trying to make things right. So they felt defeated. They felt defeated because they backstabbed and betrayed you, and they gave up. And they started working with these people to orchestrate something against you. But now this person has moved on to calmer waters, and they're not in this energy any longer. They might have learned a lesson with the Leo, is what I'm getting. They might have learned a lesson with the Leo. And I have the Devil reversed here, okay? So they might have learned a lesson with the Leo and the Devil reversed. There could also be an Aquarius here, okay, that's stuck in a cycle. These are people that they have their foot on your neck and they don't want you to disappear. Somebody's very childish. They're being very childish because they're upset somebody already moved on to calmer waters. Yeah. This might be the person that's protecting you right now. It could be like a spiritual practitioner or something like that could be spiritually protecting you. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about these spiritual practitioners. These spiritual practitioners, they do the work and they understand the nature of their job is not to judge wrong or right, good or bad, even though they can use discernment when they're trying to discern or decide even. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm plugging up my cold. There you go. I just want to warm this cold up for the prayer. But they also have their own opinion. Just because a spiritual practitioner does the work for you does not mean they don't think that you're disgusting. It does not mean that they think you're an idiot. They don't think you're an idiot for wanting this. It does not mean they looking at you like you're stupid because you chose to try to hurt a good friend of yours that loves you just because you're jealous of them and you choose jealousy over friendship. You understand? Some of these practitioners think some of these people are very stupid and they're very dumb, but they take the money because they're neutral and they're like, okay, well, if you want me to do this, I'll do it. All right, if you want me to do it, I'll do it. But they look down on the person sometimes because they think they're stupid. They're like, God damn, you are really low vibrational. Wow, y'all are. And I see it all the time. Like when I'm watching, my little YouTube videos and things, and just hearing testimonies and things. Some of these practitioners really be tisk shaking their head at some of these people like, really? Your mother? Your own mother? Did your mother wrong you? No, I love her, but I want to live a life of, I want to live, drive a nice car, and I want to this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? And they're like, wow. I can only imagine the disgust that some of these practitioners feel with some of these people when they hear what they're requesting out of greed, out of a lack of empathy, just out of wickedness. The wickedness in some people's heart. Okay. So tell me more about the situation right now with the high priest or high priestess. Somebody might be in some very confident energy right now. Okay. Somebody might be in some very confident energy right now. Temperance in reverse. Someone's moving a okay. You can okay, I get it. That's not it. Okay. You can expect this fire sign or whoever has this fire in their chart. I told you whoever this person is that didn't practice discernment and didn't protect you. This person went hard in the paint to spiritually protect like a prostitute type energy that had like a black heart, that had darkness in her heart, hate, and he thought she was an earth angel because of the way her ass shook. You understand what I mean? That's a total disrespect and lack of judgment. And this person shouldn't have access to anything spiritual. This is why they lost their spiritual ranking. You understand? Don't talk about my wife's dress. Y'all just jealous because your ass don't look like that in a dress like that. I'm only making jokes. I'm only making jokes. Little popular viral topics I be seeing on YouTube about these pastors. Child, the church has changed. Okay, so you can expect this person, this high priest that's been protecting you, to keep an eye on this fire sign, and for them to, you can expect that with the Three of Wands, yeah, you can expect this person to leave you alone. They're just disappointed that they missed their mark and they've been spiritually demoted, okay, and that you kick this person out of your energy so you could for your protection. I'm hearing you had to literally protect yourself, and not just from whoever this masculine is. You had to protect yourself from this masculine and every hooker, every unhealed, spiritually diseased man and women they were connected to, all panting and salivating for your energy, driving by your house, stalking you, mirroring your phone. It's just starting to die down for you. They literally brought complete strangers to you that became enraged at the fact that he was bringing all this attention to you. He was coming to them and berating them and asking them to do sex magic on you to harness your divine energy. And they felt like crap because of it. So now you got an enemy you ain't even never spoke to or met before. Okay, you're going to be able to move forward now. This was a bad investment. Something was a very bad investment. I feel like there's a boundary between you and this person now because they're too childish. Yeah, this person, they didn't do it in this lifetime. They're too childish. They're too immature. But the message that I was given, collective, to give you was, what they told me was, balance has to be restored for the high priestesses. All of the high priestesses, balance has to be restored. Y'all have to be given back your space. Y'all have to be given back, final message, please. Y'all have to be given back your privacy. People need to get away from y'all, out your energy, so you all can flourish and do exactly what your energy is supposed to do without being attacked all day and all night. It don't make no sense. Balance has to be restored, they told me, because something big is about to happen. It's about to come down. In the next reading, I'm going to pull it, but it kept coming out. It's about to go down. And you know we're under a new moon right now. So balance must be restored for the high priestesses that went through this and are still going through it. And because of it, you're about to see the Lilith energy of feminine energy in chaos, a state of chaos, because balance must be restored in the universe, period. You can call it good, bad, Christianity, Islam, Judaism. Balance has to be restored. And you're about to see the chaos of Mother Nature all over the place. Something's going to happen major so that balance can be restored, because this is the divine feminine energy in a state of chaos because it's been abused for so long. Final message, Holy Spirit. Final message. Oh, here they come. Okay? Somebody that did something to you cannot recover. And somebody is going to come and tell you about it. This is someone they walked away from. Okay. I don't know. This might be a high priest. There might be a high priest. Okay. And please don't sit up there and be thinking a high priest has to be walking around in a robe and have a certain look and be holy, holy, walking around in a Catholic robe and a hat. And no, baby. A high priest could be walking around in some old kicks, their old Adidas, some rundown pants, or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? The high priest is not a look. Okay? Anybody can embody the energy. This might be someone that cloaks their energy because they don't want people to know who they are. Okay, so they won't become a target. Or if they're out here trying to do some spiritual work, it's easier for them to do the work that they do if the person they're doing the work on doesn't know where it's coming from. See, real high priests, men and women that are ordained, they don't want to announce themselves. They're not full of ego. They don't want everyone to know, it's me. I take, I want to claim what I just did. I'm the one that did it. No, absolutely. When a real high priestess or high priest is doing some spiritual work that they're ordained to do, you're not going to know where it came from and who did it. You understand? If you're not on the right side of things. Okay, so with that, this person's coming in to tell you whatever they did, someone can't recover. Okay? This is someone they walked away from. Okay, so with that, we're going to do our prayer. All right. Oh, God, I'm going to have to cook. I'll cook tomorrow. Okay, so y'all, make sure y'all are out here praying because we are under the new moon right now. So, somebody might be contacting you. Be careful. Pay attention to the people that contact you under the new moon and the full moon. I show gratitude for my collective of the highest vibration of love. I show gratitude for my complete restoration financially, energetically, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. I show gratitude right now for the Most High God, Yeshua, Yahweh, Jehovah. I show gratitude right now for peace, prosperity, favor, and protection. I show gratitude right now for each and every planet that God has put in place in the ethers to protect us and to also vibrate different frequencies to help get our prayer requests granted. O Holy One, the moon that sits at the head of Venus, Mercury, the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Right now, I command every demonic spirit to get out of my life and environment because Umima is a consuming fire. I release fire on every evil demonic spirit using anyone or anything in this life or in my environment, known and unknown, seen and unseen, to cause any physical, energetic, or spiritual imbalance with negative energy to me or anyone in my life of the highest vibration of love. Right now, I sanctify this prayer with holy fire of Umima. Right now, in this environment, right now, I soak this prayer for cleansing and redemption in the fire of that Kundalini violet flame of my Holy Spirit, in the mighty name of Jehovah. Right now, I decree and declare, the sun will not spite me by day, nor the moon by night. Right now, I take authority over every witchcraft attack being sent toward me by sun and by moon. Let it burst into flames and scatter, fall to the ground. I shall prosper and be in good health. Every pre-witchcraft attack, let it be cut off and diminished by fire right now. Every witchcraft attack going on in my life right now, and in this environment, and in this life right now, let its power be completely nullified, neutralized, and obliterated and destroyed through every energy body on every plane, in the earthly planes and in the heavenly planes. We bind whatsoever ye shall bind in earth shall be bound in the heavens. Whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in the heavens. Right now, I bind and contain every death spell, every hex, every curse, every evil eye and negative energy and incantation sent toward me and my collective of the highest vibration of love. I bind it on earth and on the heavenly realms. And I command you to return directly back to the sender tenfold. Abracadabra. I command you to return directly back to the sender. Abracadabra. I command you to return back to the sender directly tenfold. Right now, I cancel every dark, evil projection into my life and environment. Right now, let every force of darkness get and flee from around my home. Abracadabra, in the name of Yeshua, I command every witchcraft power sponsoring repeated problems and attacks. You shall not come to pass, neither shall it stand. Catch fire, every waster assigned to waste my life and time right now. Catch fire and scatter right now every projection of witchcraft over my health and energy. Scatter by fire right now. I command peace, strength, and tranquility throughout this day and throughout this week. I command it. Mote it be. So shall it be. Ashe. All right, y'all. It's going to be a short one today because I haven't been eating. I've been fasting. And you know how that can be. Like, dang, that was a short one. Yeah, because I'm hungry. Yup. You're doggone right. Child, what's the best way to break a fast? Mango and bananas. Whew, you gotta be easy. Whew, child. All right, guys, I love you. I am QUAN. This is love of the highest vibration. Okay, I need to eat now and strengthen myself because, like I said, I have been fasting. And I will see you all a little later. Okay, y'all have a great and blessed Monday.